एका प्रश्नकर्त्याने कृष्णमूर्तीला प्रश्न विचारला, फॉर द अंडरस्टँडिंग ऑफ ह्युमन प्रॉब्लेम्स, फॉर द अंडरस्टँडिंग ऑफ ह्युमन प्रॉब्लेम्स सच ॲज फिअर, लोनलीनेस अँड सॉरो, युअर स्टेटमेंट, द ऑब्झर्वर इज द ऑब्झर्व्ड, seems to be all important, but that statement does not seem to go beyond the intellectual level. म्हणजे मानवी समस्या ज्या आहेत, दुःख, भीती, एकटेपणा वगैरे वगैरे, तर ह्या सोडवण्याकरता तुमचं जे स्टेटमेंट आहे, ऑब्झर्वर इज ऑब्झर्व, हे खरोखरच फार इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. पण होतं काय की ते फक्त इंटेलेक्च्युअल लेवलवरच राहतं. असं का होतं? कृष्णमूर्ती यावर उत्तर देतात, व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय द वर्ड अंडरस्टँडिंग? व्हेन यू से आय अंडरस्टँड, व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय दॅट? डू यू अंडरस्टँड इट so called intellectually? That is the meaning remains only in concept. In the brain, mere verbal comprehension, or is there the understanding when you yourself investigate, observe, search, question, doubt, and then you come to the point and say, yes, I have got it. You hear a statement, that is, observer is observed, and you make from that statement an abstraction and make it into an idea, and the idea becomes all important. Are you not doing all that? Merely grasping intellectually the meaning of that statement, which is only a very, very small part of understanding. No doubt, intellect has a part, but when that part becomes all important, then you neglect every other part. So when you understand something, that understanding is action. So when you understand something, that understanding is action, not just only the understanding. Have you ever looked at the full moon or the new moon? Full moon म्हणजे पौर्णिमेचा चंद्र आणि न्यू मून म्हणजे प्रतिपदेचं चलन. Have you ever looked at the full moon or the new moon, the beauty of and the splendor, silver of light in the sky? Have you looked at it? When you look at it, who is looking at it? Please follow this little bit. If you don't mind, do you look at it as though for the first time? Or do you look at it as though you saying that is new moon, it is going to be full moon in every fortnight, so on and so on. So you immediately put it what you see in the words. Can you look at the new moon without word? Can you look at the full moon without the word? Because the word moon is not the actual moon without word. But when we look at something, we immediately put what you see, hear, touch, etc. into the words. This is obvious. When I look at my wife, I say, she is my wife. I never look at her as though for the first time, without the word, without the memory, without all the implications of a wife or a husband. So can you look at the tree or flower without the word? Can you smell, touch, hear as though it is doing at very first time and without word. Have you ever tried it? हे किती छान आहे पहा. Can you smell, touch, hear as though it is doing at first time and without word? Have you ever tried it? Then you will realize how the world distorts the fact. Then you will realize how the world distorts the fact. So can you look at something without the word, without the image, without the memory? So can you look at something without the word, without the image, without the memory? Look at this figure. इथे कृष्णमूर्ती स्वतःला उद्देशून म्हणत आहेत, लुक ॲट दिस फिगर, आणि ते स्वतःला पॉइंट पण करतात. लुक ॲट दिस फिगर पॉइंटिंग टू हिमसेल्फ विदाउट द वर्ड. मी माझ्याकडे कुठलाही शब्द किंवा शाब्दिक ज्ञान मध्ये न आणता पाहू शकता का? विदाउट द इमेज, विदाउट द रेप्युटेशन. म्हणजे हे कृष्णमूर्ती आहेत, ते जगत गुरु आहेत, नंतर यांनी तो सगळा मोठा त्याग केला वगैरे वगैरे. आता हा जी यांची जी कीर्ती आहे याच्या व्यतिरिक्त तुम्ही पाहू शकता का? लुक ॲट दिस फिगर पॉइंटिंग टू हिमसेल्फ विदाउट द वर्ड, विदाउट द इमेज, विदाउट व्हॉट द रेप्युटेशन, विदाउट ऑल दॅट नॉनसेन्स. त्यांनी जे त्यांना जी प्रसिद्धी वगैरे त्यावेळेला भेटली होती, विश्वगुरु, जगद्गुरु वगैरे वगैरे, त्या सगळ्या एकंदरीत प्रकाराला त्यांनी इथे नॉनसेन्स म्हटलंय असं वाटते. कॅन यू ओनली लुक ॲट हिम? तुम्ही फक्त आणि फक्त आणि फक्त माझ्याकडे पाहू शकता का? असं कृष्णमूर्ती विचारतात. इज दॅट द वर्ल्ड द ऑब्झर्वर? द वर्ल्ड इज ऑब्झर्वर, द इमेज and memory, all that is observer, is not the background of your being a Hindu, Muslim, so and so, with all the superstitions, with all the belief, with all these implications, is the observer. Is it the background? It is the memory that makes the observer seems as though it is different from the thing observed. So can you look, can you see, can you taste, can you smell, can you touch without the background that is like and dislike, without the past memories? When you do that, there is only that thing which is being observed. There is no observer. Observing, seeing, etc. The thing observed. This is very, very important thing. There is only and only that thing which is being observed, nothing else. Observer is observed. The observer is a false entity. Observer is the false entity, and fact is that there is only the thing which is being observed at that very moment. But when there is a division between observer and observed, or one who witness and observed, there is a conflict. Why this division exists between the observer and observed, or whether there is only the thing observed or being observed. यावर प्रश्नकर्त्यांनी प्रश्न विचारला आहे. तो मोठा मार्मिक प्रश्न विचारलाय. द ऑब्झर्वर इज अ लिव्हिंग थिंग. द ऑब्झर्वर इज अ लिव्हिंग थिंग अँड ऑब्झर्व्ड इज समथिंग नॉट लिव्हिंग. यावर कृष्णमूर्ती उत्तर देतात, सर, व्हॉट वी आर सेइंग इज wherever there is division, there must be the conflict. That is the law. That is the internal law. So to understand and to be really free of conflict is to understand why the observer, म्हणजे ऑब्झर्वर म्हणजे काय, ही एक इल्युजन आहे, ही एक फॉल्स एंटिटी आहे. Why the observer becomes so dominant, separating himself from the thing being observed, so that conflict exists because we have separated the observer from the observed. I am different from my anger. I am different from my envy. I am different from my sorrow. So being different, there is a conflict. That is, I must get rid or I must overcome. Tell me how to overcome sorrow, pain, loneliness. Tell me what to do with my fear. So in this way, there is a conflict all the time. But you are sorrow. You are loneliness. You are suffering. You are anger. You are greed. Not different from sorrow. You are sorrow. Are you different from sorrow? You are not different from your anger. You are anger. That is, the observer is observed. You are not different from your sexual desires. Are you? You are not different from the loneliness which you feel. You are loneliness. But you assume yourself different from loneliness and say, I must escape from this loneliness. So you go to temple. You are then entertained yourself by going to football match and so on and so on. Thus you are not different from the quality of which you are. The quality is you. The quality is you. I am anger. I am sorrow. I am loneliness. I am depression. Before, when I separated, I acted upon my sorrow. Then there is the observer. If I am lonely, I then escape from loneliness, try to overcome it or analyze it and try to fill the loneliness with all kinds of amusement or so-called religious activity. Then the observer is born. But if I am loneliness, I cannot do anything about it. I realize that I am loneliness, not I am something different from loneliness to do anything on the loneliness, because I am that. Before I acted upon it, now I cannot act upon it because now I realize that I am that. So what happens when the observer is observed? When the anger means observed, is me, then what takes place? Have you inquired into this, or do you just say, I am observer and I observe that which is observed, which is different from me? That is the observer. It is now meaningless. Please find out if the anger and so on is different from you. It has been tradition, it has been culture, it has been conditioning to say, I am different from my anger and so on. Then you acted upon it, but when you realize that you are anger and so on, then what do you do? What happens? First, all conflict ceases. They eliminate this divisive process which brings conflict. The fact is, I am anger and so on. then why we make an abstraction of the fact? Why do we make that in idea? Is it because it is easier to make an abstraction or idea rather than to face the fact? But when you realize that there is no separation as observer and observed, you are that, you are what is, and you must remain with it. धन्यवाद.